BTB Kicks here, and today we're going to be talking about how I would get customers if I had 0 followers. And before we dive into the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's do it. Number 5 on the list, we're going to start things off with something that seems pretty simple, but it's definitely a top level IQ move because a lot of these brands are adjacent to kind of what we do and or sneakers. So I would say go to your local barbers, hairstylists, gyms, and or resellers. Those people all have, I guess, adjacent or people who take interest in those things also take interest in the sneakers most times or fall into our, I guess, customer base that we would want. For example, barbers. Everybody in the barber shops are trying to look fresh and clean. Obviously, what's fresh and clean along with haircuts and looking good? Your sneakers, your outfit, fashion, things of that nature. So I would definitely recommend checking them out and maybe going to your local barbershop, asking if you can pass out cards, leave a stack of cards for people to come by and grab, hang up a flyer, among other things, just to try to get as many clients as possible. I personally did this because there used to be a barbershop next door to my shop, but it's no longer there. But I know when it was around, I had my flyers in there, even though my shop was next door. But it did help because people, although they got their haircut at the shop next door to me, they still didn't know what I did. But then once people told them like, hey, he cleans shoes, they're like, oh, so that's what that is. I would definitely recommend doing that. But also gyms would be a good one too, because a lot of people who go to the gym, you know, it could be just people who lift weights, and they're also one of the, you know, people dress up to go to the gym. Let's be honest, they put on these different fits and pieces and sets to try to look their best while getting a lift in. Along with that, you might have like a basketball court in your gym. So of course there's going to be hoopers like basketball shoes, and outside of playing basketball, hoopers like wearing Jordans and different shoes that look fly off the court. So, you know, you can attack that group of customers as well. And then last but not least, the one that's the lowest hanging fruit, you could potentially partner with a reseller, a sneaker reseller. I know that, you know, that genre is kind of dying down a little bit, or I guess that business model, but as people are pivoting, you never know. You could bring them more money, they could bring you more money just based off of the network they already have of customers. And you could even frame it as every pair of shoes you resell, just put my business card in the box with them, and if they come to me and say that, you know, I saw your flyer once I bought a pair of shoes off of such and such, you could give them a cut just for the referral, honestly. So it's a win-win. You're getting customers from them, but then they get a kickback as well. So I think that's a high IQ move to try to get customers if you had 0 followers. Moving on to the next topic, number 4, we're going to talk about cleaning a pair of shoes for free for someone with influence. The biggest, well, I mean, I feel like this was kind of self-explanatory. Obviously, if you do a good job, well, let's take this example. Let's say you know an athlete and they're really popular on social media. They have shoes and whatnot, so you offer to give them a free clean. So you take their shoes in, clean them up, and in exchange for you doing that, they basically repost you and you get exposed to their audience. And basically that from there, you know, you get exposed to a whole new group of people. Some of the people might not be your demographic, but you know, most of the people at least know you're there. It's just basically like putting out a billboard or putting out an ad. Obviously, if depending on the post and how it's framed, it could bring you a lot of business, or it could fall flat depending on if you have somebody do it who's not really in your niche per se. So it all just depends on who you choose. My best recommendation would be to choose someone who's actually into sneakers and is known for their fashion and actually would appreciate the service. I have a personal anecdote about a time when I had the opportunity to clean a pair of shoes for a very affluent celebrity, and things did not go as planned. I ended up getting I'm not gonna say the name, but I got scammed. Real ones know who it is, but yeah, just be wary of who you choose as well, because things like that can happen where, you know, if the person's not vetted correctly, or if you don't have something written down as an agreement, or just if the person's not very trustworthy or a man of their word, they could just take your service and basically leave you out to dry, more or less. But yeah, that's a way of doing it to get people if you don't have any followers as well. We're about halfway in this video now. We're gonna move on to number 3, which happens to be posting before and afters daily. So one thing that I preach about in my Discord, which I'll talk about later, is to post content and post before and afters, whether it be videos or pictures, daily and often, just because the bigger the portfolio that you have of sneakers and for people to kind of see what your work is like, the more likely they'll bring you a pair of shoes. Because if, let's say, you clean all the Jordans 1 through 14 and you have a picture of each popular or the most popular colorways of that particular shoe on your page showing before and afters, the likelihood of someone having that shoe is probably high, for one, because it's an OG, it's a classic, but for two, if they see their own shoe on your page and they happen to need them clean, they might be like, hey, like, they might honestly message you just because they see that you've already done the pair before. So that's kind of vetting you in a sense where, okay, I've seen that he could do this pair, he does his pair well, I'm gonna bring my pair to him and give him a shot. So instead of going in and bringing you a pair of shoes basically in the dark, not knowing what's gonna happen or who you are based on if you had 0 followers or smaller following. So the more pictures, the more content, the more proof you have of your skill set, the better off you'll be, because you can show people and they'll start to believe you and they'll start to see your quality of work, and that's always good. So I try to keep my posts up, tell everyone I know to keep their posts up, and just get out as much as they can, especially earlier on when you're starting your business. Number 2 on the list is make flyers, but if you make a flyer, make sure the message is very clear with your offer. I'll give an example of what I did. So when I first started my business, opened my shop, working out of your house it's a bit different than opening a shop, and you're gonna have to market to the masses versus marketing within like a kind of bubble that you have when working out of your home, because you're gonna typically know most of the people already if you're cleaning shoes out of your home. So as you start to market, you want to have a clear message. So I made a poster or a flyer that not only attracted customers, and it did extraordinarily well for me when I first started my business. It basically was like a Godfather offer. I don't know if you all are familiar with that. I've heard it. I've basically read about it and executed on that strategy within my business, and I saw a good result. But I'll kind of break it down for how I did it. A Godfather offer is an offer that, you know, let's say a mobster or a Godfather, like in the movies, would offer to someone, an offer so good that somebody would not be able to refuse. So in my case, my Godfather offer, when I first started my shop, I had it on a flyer which said new customers get 50% off on their first order, along with a free waterproofing, along with a free expedited 2-day turnaround. So you're getting my best work for half the price with an additional waterproofing to further protect your shoes, as well as a speedy turnaround. Who could say no to that? Honestly, and a lot of people didn't say no. They ended up coming through, seeing how my work was, and they liked it, and they stuck around. So I did this deal for about 2 years or so, and I built up a good base of clients. Obviously this wasn't sustainable over time. This is just to really get my first base book of clients to start. If you had 0 followers or a smaller following, it would make sense to deploy a strategy like this, because you can quickly gain people as long as your work is good and consistent. As far as that goes, you want to make sure your poster or flyer has information like that on it, so you can hang that up and it's very clear, and it has a call to action to bring you the shoes, and people can bring them to you, and then you just have to execute. And before we get to our very last topic of the day, I want to mention my Discord. So my Discord is a place where sneaker restorers from all across the United States and outside of the country come together, and we have discussion. It's basically a chat where we talk about our different issues. We talk about how to market our businesses, grow our businesses, and we're all like-minded, trying to help each other grow and advance in the restoration industry. We have weekly calls where we meet up and talk, I guess, face-to-face virtually, and we all connect and continue to grow. And I'd like to see the community grow, because I believe anybody who gets into restoration can grow and better themselves, because this industry is fairly early and there's plenty of food on the table for everyone to eat. So if you're interested in joining down below and skipping out on trying to watch 1,000 YouTube videos just to learn about restoration and get the answer straight from me, 24/7 access to me and the group of restorers who are trying to better themselves, feel free to check out that link down below. Last but not least, number 1, ask every single customer you have for a referral. So one thing that you could do is, obviously you have to ball out when you get a customer, for one, just to show them, you know, I do this for real. I'm like that with the shoe cleaning stuff. So you want to do good for one, and then you want to do so well that they wouldn't have an issue referring you to their friends. They might even refer you anyway. A lot of people do that, but asking for the referral honestly speeds up the process. And even offering an incentive to refer a friend. You might even say, hey, next time you come in, bring a friend. I might throw you 20% off or something, and then they get the 50% off. If they like your work enough, they might already refer people. But if you tell them, hey, like, bring a friend next time if you like my work, you know, if you're satisfied, next time you come in, bring a friend. Well, I'll give you 20% off on your next order. You bring a pair too, and then I'll give them the 50% off. So everybody pretty much wins for coming back to you. And then on top of that, you're getting a new customer who you're gonna ball out for, of course, and you're gonna keep growing. So that's just a good way to keep growing. That's kind of what I did as well. Starting out, I did a lot of discounting, I cannot lie to you, but it gets a lot of people in, but eventually you will have to cut it. I will say that, just because you can't grow the business on discounts, like 24/7 discounts, I should say. Yeah, definitely use those ideas as a tool to further your business and acquire new customers if you don't have any. And since you all stuck around to the end, I might as well throw you all a bonus. So this is technically number 6. This one's kind of sneaky, I will say. I've tried this in the past, and I've actually gotten a couple people with this strategy. So I would go to different sneaker pages, such as like Sneaker News, Complex Sneakers, Regular Complex, you know, wherever, or Kicks on Fire, wherever the sneaker blogs typically are, and they post online. And from there, I would interact with people in the comments. If they have a certain opinion on the pair of shoes that just dropped or that they're previewing on their page, I might leave my opinion, but also comment underneath other people's opinions, just so then they could be like, oh, who is this page, you know, responding to me? Because obviously if somebody tags you or responds to your comment on Instagram, you're gonna check the account to see like who it is and what they're about. So you can use this to your advantage, because people are gonna be curious and say, oh, who's clicking on my stuff and who's responding to me? They're gonna click on your page and see, oh, this person restores sneakers, they're into sneakers too. Okay, cool, let me follow them. Maybe even if they're in your same city, they might even like send you some shoes or something, or you know, bring you some business. So with that being said, there's a lot of sneaky ways to get some business. You just got to be creative. I've given you 6 now, and I hope you all enjoyed those 6 topics or ways of how to get customers if you have little to no following on Instagram or any other platform. But if you follow those, you should get at least a handful. And if you end up following some of these and get some, let me know down below. I'm very, very curious to see how it goes. I've used all these tactics for my own business, and they are proven to work, at least for me. So I believe in you all, and I hope you all found value in this video. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.